After years of speculation, rumor threads, and wishful thinking, it finally looks like the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster is real, and it's coming a lot sooner than we might have expected. Leaked screenshots, newly surfaced details, and insider confirmations are all pointing to one thing. Bethesda and Virtuos have been quietly rebuilding one of the most beloved RPGs of all time, and it could shadow drop as early as next week. Let's break down what we know so far, what the leaks have revealed, and why the timing of this release date might be perfect for longtime fans of the series and newcomers. But before we get into it, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest Elder Scrolls news. And if you're interested, consider becoming a member on the channel for early access on every video, members only content, your name in the credits, the ability to write in and have your comments featured, and access to the Discord community. Earlier this week, screenshots and promotional art for what's now being referred to as the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered appeared online, seemingly pulled directly from the developer Virtuos' website. And these weren't blurry off-screen captures or low-res placeholders either on their website. They were full detailed comparison images that showed scenes from the original 2006 release side by side with their modern remastered counterparts. And the upgrades are impossible to ignore. In these images of the remastered, textures are sharper, lighting is more dynamic, and the once flat environments now have a lot more visual depth. You can see the iconic white gold tower piercing through a richly lit skyline, and even the interior dungeon shots show off clear improvements in shading, reflections, and geometry in the game world. But the visuals aren't the only thing getting an overhaul in this remaster. According to leaked details, the remaster for Oblivion also brings mechanical updates to some of the original game's more dated gameplay systems. The stamina and blocking mechanics are reportedly inspired by modern Souls-like games. Archery has been tweaked to feel more smooth in both first and third person views. The sneaking system now features clearer feedback with updated icons, and even the HUD has been modernized to make the game more accessible for new players without losing its classic feel. If these rumors are true, these aren't just quality of life changes slapped on top of a graphics pass. They suggest a deeper mechanical refinement that could actually change how Oblivion plays moment to moment. It's not a total reimagining, of course, but it looks like a thoughtful upgrade for both nostalgia and functionality. But let me know down in the comments what you think about the leaked images and the rumored gameplay changes for the Oblivion Remastered. Up until now, most of the chatter around the Oblivion Remaster has been based on vague this year or soon sort of release windows, but that all changed thanks to industry insider Jeff Grubb, who's known for his accurate leaks and developer sources. On his recent Game Mess morning stream, Grubb narrowed the release window down significantly for the Oblivion Remake, saying that the game is set to shadow drop next week. Specifically, he pointed to the week of April 21st as the current target for this game's release. He emphasized that he's received separate confirmations from different sources that all point to that same release window. And obviously, if this holds, we could be just days away now from one of the most exciting RPG re-releases of this generation. Here's what Jeff Grubb had to say about this on his podcast. And I've seen several different posts about this on Twitter, and it looks like Xbox's AI support revealed a release date of April 21st, 2025, and confirming it will launch day one on Xbox Game Pass. And these messages from the Xbox AI support also revealed that all of the DLC from Oblivion is possibly coming at release, so that would be really exciting to see as well, if it's true, of course. And of course, the AI support messages straight up just said April 21st is the release date, which is Monday. And the insiders, of course, are saying the week of the 21st, so we don't really know. We haven't exactly, I guess, honed in on the actual release date, but it's most likely next week at some point. But of course, this info should be taken with caution. It does align closely with previous reports and leaks surrounding the long-rumored remaster, but obviously we have no concrete details just yet. And it's also worth remembering that a shadow drop that we keep hearing thrown around means a surprise release with little to no prior marketing for the game. Bethesda just hits publish and the game shows up on storefronts. It's definitely a bold move for them, but obviously not unheard of. Xbox did it with Hi-Fi Rush back in 2023 to great success, and the idea of Oblivion quietly returning in remastered form fits perfectly with the online hype train that's already rolling at the moment. I mean, all of this has kind of just been free advertising and marketing for Bethesda. And there's also another piece of the puzzle to look at here as well. Multiple insiders had previously pointed to a release in April, and Bethesda just updated the Oblivion Game of the Year edition on Steam while removing official trailers. That can often be viewed as a sign that a new version is about to be announced and replace the old one. Combine all of this and it's hard not to believe something is about to happen with the Oblivion Remastered. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Oblivion Remastered possibly releasing one day next week. But let's be clear here, it doesn't seem like this is a fully Final Fantasy VII Remake kind of deal, at least from what we know. But despite early rumors calling it a remake, the leaked marketing and file names confirm that the official title is The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. We don't really know how in depth they're going to be going with this remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, but with everything that we've kind of seen, it seems like it's kind of in the middle of a remaster and a remake. Obviously, that might disappoint some fans who are hoping for a total ground-up rebuild in Unreal Engine 5, but the reality is still exciting, and it will be interesting to see what all they do to this game. I believe they've said that they're making the Unreal Engine 5 to be the graphics update for the game, and the original Gamebryo engine is still running at the base level. Yes, of course, the visuals have been upgraded for this game, and according to the screenshots, it looks really impressive. Yes, there's significant gameplay and UI improvements as well, but this is still the core Oblivion game as we remembered it back in the day. The wild, open world of Cyrodiil, the Daedric Invasion, and the Dark Brotherhood quest, all of it remains intact in this game, and the remaster aims to enhance that experience, not reinvent it, at least with the information we currently have. Obviously, this could all change when we get some official announcement from Bethesda. There's also something to be said for the balance between preservation and progress. A full remake of this game would have likely meant years of development, major narrative shifts, and possibly the loss of that quirky, memeable Oblivion charm that we've come to love over these many years. This remaster approach should keep the heart of the original game intact while also smoothing the rough edges for a modern audience. And let's be honest, remaster or not, there's something exciting about being able to revisit Oblivion on modern hardware, with smoother controls and a fresh coat of paint around it, especially for players who never experienced the game the first time around. I've never actually finished the game, but I'm definitely diving deep into it this time and getting everything out of it the game has to offer. And according to some of the messages I mentioned before with Xbox support, it looks like it's possible that the Oblivion Remastered might come with all of the DLC from the original Oblivion game, but of course that should be taken with a grain of salt here. But of course, if that's true, it would be very cool to see the Shivering Isles DLC remastered in this package. According to the leaks, Oblivion Remastered is set to release on PC, Xbox Series XS, and not so surprisingly PlayStation 5. That last one might be a shocker for some of you considering Bethesda's more recent Xbox first approach post Microsoft acquisition, but of course Xbox has been releasing more games on competing platforms, and of course Oblivion originally released on PlayStation 3 a year after the Xbox release. But if all of this is true, it suggests Microsoft is continuing to lean more into a multi-platform strategy even for legacy Bethesda titles. The remaster will also be available day one on Xbox Game Pass, which makes sense given the platform's ecosystem strategy. It'll be a great way to get eyes on the game quickly and reintroduce one of the most important RPGs in Bethesda's library to a huge audience of players. And in terms of additions for the game, there's also a deluxe edition in the works. According to the leaks, it includes bonus weapons and of course, horse armor. That's right, you heard me correctly there. Bethesda is bringing back the infamous Oblivion horse armor as a tongue-in-cheek sort of nod to one of the earliest and most mocked examples of paid DLC in the gaming industry. And of course, they already know they have us here, so I guess we'll have to pay for it once again. You can throw your hands up at this all you want, but love it or hate it, it's an iconic part of gaming history at this point, and including it as a bonus item is a fun wink to the past in my opinion. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. Will you be getting the deluxe edition of the Oblivion Remastered, or are you fine with the base edition? So what does all of this mean beyond just getting a shiny new version of a classic game? For one, it's a clear signal that Bethesda hasn't forgotten about its roots. With the Elder Scrolls 6 seemingly still being a long way off, Oblivion Remastered gives the Elder Scrolls community something meaningful to chew on for the time being. It's also a chance for the studio to polish up its legacy and reintroduce players to the foundational lore, factions, and themes that have defined the franchise to this point. This release could also set a precedent. If Oblivion does well, could we see a proper Morrowind remaster next? It's definitely possible. Could Skyrim get yet another re-release? I hope not, but this time with modern engine updates it could be cool. And obviously some mechanical tweaks could be thrown in there as well. It obviously would not be very shocking. And of course, my most wanted remake or remaster is Fallout 3. That is my favorite Fallout game, and I would love to see it modernized in this sort of remastered sort of way. And of course, a remaster of New Vegas would be amazing as well, but I'm not really sure how likely that one is since Obsidian made it. But there is a Fallout 3 remaster in the works, but we'll get to that later in the video. But maybe, just maybe, this Oblivion remaster will help Bethesda rediscover some of the magic that made its older games so beloved by the fan base. Oblivion of course wasn't perfect, but it had a weird, wonderful charm that's hard to replicate. The radiant AI, the goofy voice acting, the ambition behind its guild quests, it all came together to create a game that stuck with people long after the credits rolled. Hopefully, if this game does really well, it will knock some sense into Bethesda. They need to bring some more life back into their games and get back to what they're good at. For fans who grew up with Oblivion, this remaster is a trip back in time. I obviously played it at the time, but I never finished it, and I'm really excited to get back into it and see what all this game has to offer. But for newer players, it's a chance to experience a piece of gaming history through a more modern lens. Either way, the idea that we'll be stepping back into the gates of Cyrodiil within days is kind of wild. Whether you're gearing up to join the Fighters Guild again, dive back into the Shivering Isles, or just want to hear "Stop right there, criminal scum" in crisp 4K, the stars seem to have aligned in this situation. Oblivion Remastered is real, and it's almost here. With all of the buzz about the Oblivion Remastered leaks, a lot of longtime Elder Scrolls fans immediately started wondering, what about Skyblivion? For anyone who doesn't know, Skyblivion is a massive fan-driven project that has been in the works for over a decade at this point, rebuilding Oblivion inside the Skyrim Special Edition engine. After so much dedication on this project, there were some real fears among the fanbase that an official remaster for Oblivion might derail or even shut down this project. Thankfully, those fears can be put to rest. The project lead on Skyblivion spoke out after the leaks hit, and he made it clear Skyblivion is still full steam ahead and releasing at some point in 2025. He emphasized that the project was born purely out of passion, and that it only exists because Bethesda allowed it to continue in the first place, and right now there's no sign that that will change. In fact, Skyblivion is still aiming for a 2025 release date like I mentioned before, meaning that fans will eventually get to experience two very different ways of returning to Cyrodiil. One will hopefully be a polished up official remaster from Virtuos, and the other a full-blown reimagining fueled by fan love and years of painstaking work. Honestly, it's the best of both worlds. Of course, unless Bethesda steps in down the line, and there's no indication they will, it looks like Skyblivion and the Oblivion Remaster will be peacefully coexisting together. And if you ask me, more ways to relive one of the greatest RPGs ever made can only be a good thing. While everyone's busy hyped about Oblivion Remastered, some fans have been wondering about another long-rumored project, Fallout 3 Remastered, and obviously this is my most hyped project that they're currently working on. And it looks like yes, it's still alive, but unfortunately don't expect to see it anytime soon. Insider Nate the Hate, who has a pretty solid track record lately for these leaks, confirmed that Fallout 3 Remastered is planned still currently at Bethesda, but warned that it will be a while before we actually get our hands on it. But that does line up with earlier leaks we saw during the FTC vs Microsoft trial, where both Oblivion and Fallout 3 Remasters were both mentioned as a part of Bethesda's future roadmap of game releases. Even though we don't have screenshots, trailers, or an official announcement yet about the game, knowing that Fallout 3 Remastered is still in the cards is an exciting enough thought to think about. And in my opinion, it will probably release around 2027 if this game follows similar timelines to the Oblivion Remastered and the FTC leaks. Fallout 3 was a game changer for the series, at least in my opinion, and many others of course, but it was turning into the massive 3D open world RPG that we know today. And if Bethesda Game Studios does it right, bringing in all the expansions and giving it a true visual and gameplay overhaul, it could end up being a huge event for fans both new and old to the series. For now though, it's all about patience. First up, we're heading back to Cyrodiil with the Oblivion Remastered, and somewhere down the road we'll hopefully be stepping back into the Capital Wasteland 2 and Fallout 3 Remastered. And maybe, if we're lucky, of course this one we have no rumors about, but a Morrowind remaster would be amazing to see. For our last little section of the video, let's get into audience inquiries, where you can submit your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or ideas for future videos. We had 6 audience write-ins to go over for this video, but if you want to write in, head over to the post tab on my channel. That's where the thread for upcoming videos will be posted. The first write-in comes from Trigger Happy Freak, and they said, with an Oblivion remake / remaster, I wonder if there will be restored cut content, like the cut Ogre quest or the cut Black Horse Courier quest, or even the entire city of Such. I think I said that correctly, but the city of Such might be a stretch, but it still has me thinking. And obviously we don't really know what this game actually entails, what they're going to be adding, what they're going to be fully remastering, remaking, whatever. But it would be really cool to see cut content in the game. That's always exciting to see. But I do think you might have to look this up. I can't remember and I couldn't find it exactly, but I believe the Skyblivion mod, the one being remade in the Skyrim engine, is adding cut content from the original game. I could be wrong about that, but it's interesting if they are. That would be really cool to see though. The second write-in comes from Lucky Bill 09, and they said the remake is releasing April 21st 21st apparently. And yeah, we went over all that in this video, but it'll be interesting to see if it actually drops on April 21st like the Xbox AI support messages said, or if it's more like, I guess, Jeff Grubb said. I mean, you'd think that the Xbox AI support would probably have the most details, but Jeff Grubb did say the week of the 21st. So that, I mean, that definitely includes the 21st, so it could very well be Monday. And I kind of hope it is. I have some crazy stuff going on at work from, I guess, I have to work over the weekend, so Thursday to Saturday, Sunday. So if they can get it up on Monday, that would be amazing. I could actually make some videos about it and play it. So yeah, April 21st, please. The next write-in comes from Brendan Scanlon, and they said, I'd love it if spears and throwing weapons are brought back. And that sounds cool to me. They're supposedly redoing some of the gameplay details in the game. At least that's what the, I think it was the MP First article said, which I went over it earlier in this video, but it was like sneaking, what else did it say? Sneaking, blocking, that kind of stuff. But I'm assuming if they're kind of redoing a lot of the combat stuff, then they'll probably be redoing this in some sort of way as well. It'll be interesting to see what really they all do to the game. The next writing comes from random stuff that nobody cares about, and they said, how will this affect Skyblivion? And obviously I went over all that already earlier in the video, but it seems like it won't affect it at all. It seems that they're still moving full steam ahead with the project. But then they went on to say in their comment, and will it still be possible to and will it still be possible to cast when using a two-handed weapon? And I would assume so. I don't think they're changing all that much. Like I said before, they're sort of reworking some of the gameplay and stuff like that, so we don't really know at this time. We'll have to wait and see, but obviously I hope they keep it in the game. As much of the original game as possible that they keep is obviously a positive. The next writing comes from B. Havia Sharma. I believe you've written in before, and I hope I'm saying your name correctly, but you said in your comment, lack of controller support was the only thing that stopped me from playing Oblivion on PC. Do you think it will get controller support? And I would say, since they're releasing on console at the same time, I'd say almost certainly that it will have controller support. Obviously that's not confirmed and we'll have to wait for it to be released, but it would be kind of crazy for them not to have controller support. I know that I recently did a replay of Skyrim, and I started a replay of Oblivion after I finished Skyrim on all its DLC, but I obviously didn't finish it because I'm just gonna wait on the remastered version. It's the first time I probably played Oblivion in like 10 years, but anyways, I'm rambling at this point. But I replayed both of them on mouse and keyboard, so I didn't really deal with the controller support stuff, but I know there's a way on Steam to get controller support for the original Oblivion game. It's just, I'm not really technical, so I don't know how to do it exactly, but there is like some sort of addition or workaround that you can, I guess, sort of do to get controller support working. But yeah, they most certainly will have controller support. I'd say I'm probably about 90% sure on that one. The last writing for this video comes from the fella, and you said, I respect the Skyblivion team and everything they're doing, but for me, the last thing I want a remaster/remake of Oblivion is to be a Skyrim mod. Everything I hated about Skyrim is being used in Skyblivion. The combat, the animations, the character models, etc. I'll be playing the official release over that mod any day. And obviously that's your opinion, but I mean, it's valid. We all have our different things that we're looking for in games, so I will probably play both. I mean, the Skyblivion mod sounds really cool and I'm definitely going to check it out, but the remaster is probably the one I'm going to do a full playthrough of. So I might end up fully playing through Skyblivion as well. I don't really know. We'll have to see what it really looks like when it releases. I know we've seen a lot of it already, but yeah, I don't know how replaying both of those or playing both of those within like close proximity to each other will go over, but I'm definitely excited for both. I'm sure there are people in both camps. Some are excited and only want to play the mod, and some are excited and only want to play the remastered. Play whatever you think is going to be most fun for you at the end of the day, obviously. That's all the write-ins we had for this video, and I appreciate everybody for writing in. Thank you. Write in for any videos that you see that you're interested in and want to have a comment or whatever about. But like I said before, if you want to write in, head over to the post tab on my channel. All the threads for future videos will be posted there. Also, one last note in this video, this is a bit of a life update, so most of you probably aren't interested in this, but it might impact some videos over the next week or so. Known based on these rumors and leaks that the Oblivion Remaster might be releasing next week, it might impact some of that. And if that's the case that it's releasing, then I will try and get videos out as fast as possible, but I might be a bit later than usual. I'm fully moved into my new house that I've mentioned in previous videos, so that's not an issue, but there's some stuff I have going on at work next week that's gonna make it extremely busy. I have to work through the weekend, and there's just stuff we have to get done at this point in time. So whatever happens with the Oblivion Remaster, just know that I will have videos going up as soon as I possibly can, and I have the time to make them, of course. I hope it's not too bad, but work is going to require a ton of overtime from me next week. It's so unfortunate because I'm just going to want to play this game non-stop when it does actually release, but the day job pays the bills, so that's obviously the priority. Anyways, that's enough of my rambling. Y'all have a good one, and I'll catch you back on the channel in the next video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest Elder Scrolls news. And if you're looking for something else to watch, click one of the videos you're seeing on screen right now. I will see you there. Also, a huge thank you to all the amazing channel members.